Hi everybody, this is Jo from Travel Without Plastic, and firstly thank you to Manuela and the team for asking me to put this short video together to give you some of our best insights and tips whenever you're arranging cleanup activities, whether they're going to be at the beach, on a hiking trail, in the desert, even a city centre if it's a city holiday. So some of the things that we think it's important to consider, particularly where the activity is going to take place, and how are you going to engage your customers in that, and what are you going to do with the type of waste that you've collected. So when we arrange beach cleans here in the Canary Islands, which is where I'm based, what we tend to do is we get our guides and our guests into teams and we give them a specific focus. So for example, team A is going to focus on picking up recyclable plastic waste. Team B would focus on picking up recyclable paper or cardboard waste. And maybe team C can pick up the items that are not recyclable, but of course we want to take them away because we don't want pollution on the beach or the other natural areas that we're in. Why do we do this? Because it makes it really easy at the end of the beach clean or the hiking trail clean to then simply deposit specifically the recyclable waste into the right containers. You don't have to take it out and manually separate it at the end. That can be quite unpleasant and quite time consuming. So if you set your teams up in the first place, then you're already collecting that waste in a way that it is easy to deposit into recycling. What we also do is we get people into teams of 3. And we give one person a clipboard and a list of plastics or a list of items that they can tick off. So if it's the plastics team, for example, that list might have plastic bottles, plastic wrappers. In Spain, for example, we can put aluminium cans into the plastic and lightweight waste bins. So what that gives them is an opportunity to mark down how many items have been collected. So each time there's a plastic bottle, there's a line, and we use it as a tally chart. So for every 5, it makes it really easy to count if somebody does that. So somebody holds the clipboard and the record, somebody holds the bin bag, and somebody has the picker or the litter picker or the gloves. So somebody is responsible for picking the waste, somebody holds the bag, somebody records the waste. So what that does in teams of 3, it's great because it just gives you a team focus and it's a really nice way to do it. But it also makes it really easy to see the impact immediately. And as a tour operator, you're in a position to be able to quantify that impact almost as soon as the beach clean is over. So decide amongst yourselves, depending on where it is that you're going, how long it is that you want to spend doing the beach clean. Maybe it's a very quick 2-minute litter pick that you can just fit in very quickly, or maybe it's going to be part of a longer activity. It's completely up to you to decide that based on how it fits into your itinerary. But bearing that in mind, that will help you to decide how you organise your teams. You may need sometimes to make a decision that if you've only got a small group, that today you're just going to focus on plastic waste, for example, or cigarette butts if you're on a beach. You can't always do everything at the same time, but it's amazing just to be able to do anything and to make a difference. Other things to think about particularly are to make sure that people are safe, that they understand that it's really important to use a litter picker if you have one of those, that they have gloves, because we don't want people to handle waste that can be quite dirty and contaminated. Perhaps you might want to also supply water in reusable bottles, obviously, refreshments at the end, depending on where you are. You want to make sure that people don't pick up anything sharp that could injure themselves. So it's a really good idea to do a briefing at the start of any cleanup activity to make sure that everybody feels comfortable. And of course, if this happens during an activity, during an itinerary, and there are a few people that don't want to take part, not everybody might want to take part or might feel comfortable with that, then we don't let them feel that they're being left out, for example, or we don't want them to feel that we think that they're being a bit strange about not joining in. It's entirely up to everybody what they choose to do. It may be that somebody feels more comfortable taking a record or even taking photographs potentially to document, assuming that you've got the permission to use people's photographs later. So I think in key, decide, where it is that you're going to be, what kind of activity you're going to do, how much time have you got to do it in, have you got the right bags, the right tools in order to pick up the litter, the right means to be able to record so that you've got the results of that, and how does it need to be done in each separate destination, depending on how waste needs to be deposited at the end. So different destinations have different recycling and different waste separation rules. So you want to make sure that you set yourselves up so that you can meet those. I hope that's helpful. That's the tips that I think are the most important and the easiest to remember, and sell it to the guests as a great way to join something quick and simple that really makes a difference, that we can all play our part in keeping our destinations clean and special. And hopefully most of them, if not all of them, will want to join in and be part of the solution.